Hi, welcome to the Hot Mess Homeschooler podcast and video. And today I have on my friend Liz Montigny of Liz Montigny Coaching. We're going to talk about how do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself? I do. I even answer myself sometimes, which may make me a little crazy, but I just, as a homeschool mom, think I'm having a parent teacher conference. So it's all good. But Liz is going to share more about that right now.
Yes. Hey, Stacy. Thank you so much. It's so good to be back on with you and love seeing your face and talking to you live. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So we were talking earlier just about how important this mental input is. Basically, everything that you choose to think about determines how you live. So you really need to pay attention to what you consume on a daily basis. We were saying, if you're constantly getting bombarded with negativity, then that's garbage in. And then what's going to come out? Probably garbage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's really important to curate what you consume. If you're mindlessly scrolling social media, how could you better use your time? Do you want to learn something new? Is there a book you've been wanting to read? Is there a podcast you've been wanting to listen to? Those are all simple and more positive choices to make.
Yeah, I had a priest one time in one of the homilies he gave, and it struck me in that moment. He said, "We are what we consume," which again, we kind of know that, but most people think of it like in terms of your physical body, right?
Right.
If you eat junk food, if you soda and, fast food and all of that, you're going to feel like crap,
Yeah.
And so then we can't be our best selves and our bodies can't be our best selves if that's what we're doing. And much like you're saying, what we consume through our eyes, through our senses, it makes a huge difference in the person we are up here and in here. And I think it's so powerful,
Yes.
to think about it in that term. We don't want to be fueling our minds with junk food either.
Right. And if you're one of those people who feels like they're constantly stuck, maybe you can't make the next step in your personal, family, or career life, I would really go back and look at this mental input, especially as it relates to what you want to do in life. If your purpose in life is you want to, I don't know, you want to start a charity or build a charity or a foundation, but you're not doing any of those things and taking any of the time to do that, what else could you be doing to feed that and to live into that purpose instead of just, reacting? What could you do to be proactive instead of reactive? And it's really just a muscle that needs to be built. And it's not always easy. But it can be.
And I think about it even in terms of like the current climate with, politics, with coronavirus, with, social media being what it is now, even, we know we can't live in fear.
No.
Right. But like when all of your consuming is, mainstream media and social media, which can be really, it's a blessing and a curse. But a lot of times, unless you curate your feed, you're going to be getting more of the curse where it makes you feel yucky and angry. And, is that what you want to be putting in? Right.
Exactly.
And I get what you're saying. You cannot live this, up level life if all you're feeding yourself is down here,
Exactly. Yeah. And like you said, that's going to be looking at what you're listening to, watching on TV, talking about with your friends, and saying to yourself, I mean, how do you talk to yourself on a daily basis? Are you super hard on yourself? Chances are, like we were saying, that meme that floats around, I mean, how do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself like you would your best friend? If you're not, that's something you really need to take a look at.
Yeah, and I talk to my kids that even just in terms of friendship, like I was just telling one last night, it really makes a difference who you surround yourself with, right? Like I think in life, because those are the people you want to be there for you, etc. But you live in here, right?
Mm,
And you are with yourself all the time. So how
mhm,
are you surrounding yourself with what's coming in so you can
mhm.
be that best person?
Yeah.
And even thinking about, like I was telling you before, and I so mad that I can't remember where I found it, but I read a really great article about how we need to be thankful for our bodies. And sometimes as
Mm,
Christian women, especially, we can have this, we are not just mind and soul.
mhm,
There we are a physical body as
mm,
well,
mm,
created in the image and likeness of Almighty God, right?
mhm.
And we are also temples of the Holy Spirit, and we need to treat our bodies accordingly. And we have to be thankful for them because they're
Mhm.
what's carrying us through life. But even still, we are a mind and we are a soul. So we have to treat our bodies in a positive way, and we have to be thankful for what we have and
Yes.
aware and grateful. And then also, again, like we said, feeding ourselves that good stuff so we
Yeah.
can do better. How can
Yeah.
somebody do that? How do you,
Yeah.
what are
So
your
so I
tips
have
for
two.
like them?
I know. So I have two main tips, and those are really excellent points too, to look at it holistically. But two big things. One is, especially for those of us who are moms and are homeschooling, which is both of us here, but your kids are going to see that example that you're setting for them, and they certainly pay attention to what you're saying to them, or and how you carry yourself. And a really good example of that was when I finally changed up my morning routine so that I could show up better for myself, but also for them. And it really, a big chunk of it is this mental piece of taking this time to feed my mind, spiritually and professionally, in the morning. And one of the ways that I do that is I have a self talk card. And it's basically like 5 paragraphs. And it's it's really whether you believe these affirmations or not, over time, you're going to start to feel them, and you're going to start to show up as this person. So that's what I love about them, because even if you don't have that belief right now, just reading this twice a day for a month, it'll start to get ingrained, and you'll start seeing a change in how you're showing up, what you're consuming, and how what you're putting out into the world. So I wanted to read one of the lines, if I could,
Mhm.
um, because just to give you a sense of what's on here. But first off, you're going to say it out loud. If you can stand in front of a mirror and say this out loud, that's super powerful, because you're hearing it and you're also seeing yourself say the words. But here's one line. I, Elizabeth Montigny, am an honest, intelligent, organized, responsible, committed, teachable person who is sober, loyal, and clearly understands that regardless of who signs my paycheck, I am self employed. Now, I love that last part, because self employed, I mean, whether you have a manager, work in an office or not, or whether you're like us and you are self employed, it's self employed. That sense of self employment is all about your attitude and your effort and how you show up. And that really comes down to, again, what are you feeding yourself? So yeah, I have a this free download for you guys for the self talk card, and yeah, try it for 30 days and see what it
Yeah,
does
we
for
will put the link below
you.
once
Thank
we
you. Yeah.
get this all posted. Um Also, that made me think back, just even in terms of parenting, right? Like
Mhm,
with kids. And if, and I know even for myself, like I'm not perfect, and it's like sometimes I can be pretty harsh. And then I think to myself, how can they do better if they
mhm,
feel like garbage all the time? If all they're
mm,
hearing is you're this way, you're that way, you cannot be better. If you
mhm,
are, constantly being reminded of your failings, of your shortcomings, and your your weaknesses or whatever. However, on the other side, when you put in a little love and a little affirmation and a little, then it's really awesome to watch kids rise up and become,
Right.
basically who they're created to be, right?
Yes.
And I think it's the same for us. Although we don't
Mm-hmm.
have a parent maybe or somebody whispering in our ear, we have to be that voice of
Yes.
telling ourselves these things. And,
Yes.
the world around us is going to tell us negative things, you know, like we talked
Mm-hmm.
about social media. It's easy to compare other people's lives and feel like maybe you're less than. This
Yeah.
person's doing this or looks a certain way or has this. And you're like, oh, makes you feel like,
Mm-hmm.
wah, wah. but, but really, again, it goes back to being aware and grateful. However, we also have to be telling ourselves the positive things and filling up with good things so that negative doesn't have a room to
Right.
grow or take seat.
Right. Exactly, exactly. And to that point as well, then when the challenges, if you're building up this muscle and you're being intentional with your time and what you're putting into, um, what you're putting into yourself on a daily basis, then when those challenges and things that pop up because life happens, they're not going to seem as monumental as maybe they once were, because you're making the choice to be intentional about how you handle something and how you think about something and how you solve something. So this really getting this mental piece down, it really does affect all areas of your life. So making this solid foundation, and if you can do it in just a matter of reading something to yourself a couple times a day, a
Yeah,
couple
like
times a
minutes a
day
day. You can make
for,
up,
yeah, yeah,
right?
for at least a month and just reinforcing that, then why wouldn't you? Yeah.
Well, and even again, going back to being a homeschool mom, I know
Mm-hmm.
like my kids learn best when it's multi-sensorial. And I
Mm.
love what you said, it's not like you're just reading it,
Mm-hmm.
so you're seeing it with your eyes, you are standing in front of a mirror, so you're watching yourself say it, which is super
Mm-hmm.
powerful. And you're
Mm-hmm.
hearing yourself say it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're also saying it. So it's so many different ways of that input, which I think really helps it take a deeper root,
Yeah.
and settle
Yeah.
into your soul in a way that maybe just, reading something on a paper isn't going to do for you.
Exactly. That sense memory is going to just help you reinforce this positive habit. It's a great way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to what we were saying, like, we all have that voice in our head, like the critical, the negative, and we
Mm,
just have to, we have to replace that voice
mm,
with the healthy positive one,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
I do think, yeah, when you have that as your foundation and that as what your environment, then it is easier to show up differently for your children,
Mm-hmm.
for your job, for
Yeah.
whether you're self-employed or you are an employee of somewhere else,
Yeah.
like you have to bring your best self into the world. I tell my kids that all the time.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I think that's a way of, no matter what you do in your life, if you're a
Right.
student, if you volunteer, to your husband, to, just in all
Yeah.
the roles we play, I think it's really important.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I mean, you want to live a life of purpose on purpose. That's why we're here. So go for it. Yeah.
Yes. And then, much like you, I had a friend share your a self like affirmation thing that she said,
Mm,
and I took it and adapted it for what really spoke to me.
mm,
And of course, I grounded it in through biblical verses to
mm.
really, just make it
Love
all
that.
about truth.
Yes.
And speak into what, we, like I said, we're created to be. And I know people probably are like when they come to my house, but I have it hanging on my bathroom, my mirror. So when I'm standing there
Perfect.
and I brush my teeth, I can read it. Sometimes I do say it out loud. Sometimes it's just a matter of like I see it while I'm getting ready. Another thing I like to do is I have a favorite essential oil blend that
Mm,
I use. So invoking again that sensory, I rub
mm-hmm.
it, here and go like this, and then, just take a
Yes.
big inhale while I'm reading it. So then a way it like kind of like, again, gets it
That's
deeper
awesome.
into your soul, I think, with
Yeah.
that sense of smell, with the reading and then hearing, all of that is
And that's perfect. And you made a good point there. Make it simple for yourself. So you get the card, and where are you going to stick it? Are you going to stick it on the bathroom mirror? Are you going to put it in your journal that you look at every day? Are you going to tape it somewhere? So you're actually going to be looking at it and you're not searching for it, and it just makes it easy. Another great tip is, if you have something coming up in your life, an important meeting, whatever that meeting may be, personal or career, read it right before. And that'll give you a little boost. And then just before you go into that meeting, just think about the best way that meeting could go. And that's how it's going to go. And that's just the way it's going to be. And, you're just setting yourself up for success that way.
right, because our intentions kind of create that, like,
Yes.
reality for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
even I'm thinking when you were talking about speaking into a mirror, I think somebody could even, if they're on the go or in their car or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, or even quietly in the bathroom, at their
Mm-hmm.
job, you can put it in selfie mode, right? Like on your
Yep.
phone and like have your thing and speak it into there and still see yourself. Make
Exactly.
it like really powerful.
Right. Or simply make an audio recording of it, and that way you're driving around and you just hit play.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
wasn't there an app or something that had that? What was that?
Yeah, I think I kind of just hacked it on my phone
Oh,
and
okay.
just, recorded it, and then you could just
And
play it.
just
Yeah, there are a
create
ton of
there
apps that you
to be able to play it for
can.
yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Perfect.
great. And in your own voice, hearing yourself.
Exactly.
And even
Exactly.
though
I
most
think
of
you
us
can.
hate our own voices, it's still
I know.
powerful to hear that.
I think you can do it with the Think Up app, I want to
Mm,
say, but I'm not sure you can do that in the free version of it. But I just did it on my phone, so
yeah, no, that's great.
yeah.
Wow, this is really great information. So we're going to post, what did you call yours? Is a self-talk card? Is that
Yeah.
what you?
Yes, there's a Christian version and just a straightforward version. So, whichever one you like, you can pick.
Okay, so we will post those links below. And then I even have my daily declaration I created into a document. So if you are interested in that, you can download that as well and tape it on your mirror, or like you said, put it in your journal, whatever. And it's just simple truths found in the Bible, and, just to
Mm-hmm.
really affirm who we are as
Mm-hmm.
people and individuals. I gave my daughter one. And in fact, it was hanging up, and then she kind of redid her room. But then what I noticed also that she does is she has a big, the mirrors hanging on the back of the door,
Mm.
and she takes chalk markers and she writes different Bible verses that speak to her on her mirror.
Ah,
And
that's
so when she's
powerful.
looking in there, and again, I love that. I walked in her room the one day and I was like, oh, like, I love that you have that, especially
Yes.
for a teenager, to have that, again, powerful affirmation of who you are, whose you are,
Yes.
and
Exactly.
to have that sense of identity and be so rooted, I think
Mhm.
is beautiful.
That is fantastic. And you set that example. So bravo, Mom.
Oh, well, thank you. Sometimes it's all by accident. But we do in our house, like I always joke, and the kids roll their eyes now because I always say, does this meet the Philippians 4:8 requirement, which is,
Mm.
whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, or excellent, think about those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, I mean, we all fall into it. Like, again,
Yeah.
the scroll on social media, and I'm doing a program for 90 days. I'm about a third of the way through. And it really is challenging us to think about our consumption. We're not really supposed to be, scrolling social media. We're not supposed to watch regular TV if it's not Christian or uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
We need to focus more and be intentional on relationships with those around us. And
Mm.
honestly, like, I think even if you're not, a Catholic interested in that program, or even a Christian, like, those are really great ways to just think about how to live your life in general.
Yeah,
We all need,
absolutely.
again, to look at our consumption, and just how time wasting is scrolling. And is it really giving us any benefit, or are we walking away again feeling like less than or yucky because of what we're consuming, you know? So all of that, I think, really does make a difference in the quality. Like we said, garbage in, garbage out. Like, and I don't want to be garbage. I want to provide value. I want to be intentional with connecting with other people, you know? And so I think all of that is really great.
Yeah, you're right on. I love it.
And again, if you guys are interested in up-leveling yourselves and making your vision board a reality, check out my friend Liz Montigny of Liz Montigny Coaching, and she can help you get there.
Yes, thank you so much.
And follow me on all the socials. You can head over to hotmesshomeschooler.com. Has all the links for everywhere I show up. And you can also get the download for my daily declaration as well.
Yay.
All right. Thank you so much, Liz, for being on. I look forward to chatting with you again sometime.
Yes. Thank you, Stacy.
Everyone, you guys take care. I'll talk to you next week. Until then, be alive and well.
Bye-bye.